is September 24th, 2018. The time is approximately 10:05 a.m. I'm Ann Levinson, Chair of the PDC. I'll be the presiding officer for today's brief adjudicative hearings. For the record, these proceedings are being held at the Public Disclosure Commission office in Olympia, Washington, and are being conducted under the authority of Chapter 3405 RCW, the Administrative Procedure Act, and relevant PDC statutes and rules. And the hearings will be audio recorded. I'll ask the PDC staff who are present today to introduce themselves for the record, and then for those who are going to present testimony, I'll swear you in.
Barbara Sandal, Deputy.
Tabitha Blacksmith, Compliance Coordinator.
Fox Blackhorn, Compliance Coordinator.
Peter LaValle, Executive Director.
Sean Flynn, General Counsel.
I believe Kim Bradford's going to join us momentarily also.
That's right, she just stepped away.
Okay, great. And who will be presenting testimony today?
Fox Blackhorn and Tabitha Blacksmith.
Raise your hand. We'll take care of swearing you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you'll be providing today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I so swear.
Thank you. Okay, so at this point, I'd like to ask the staff to go ahead and give a brief overview for the public of the C1 and F1 reporting requirements, and then we'll start through the cases.
Okay, well, thank you, Madam Chair. Today, the Public Disclosure Commission, or PDC, is conducting brief adjudicative proceedings under the Administrative Procedures Act, RCW 34.05, for the following mandatory filer types. Incumbent, elected, or appointed officials who are required to file a personal financial affairs statement or an F1 report with the PD no later than April 16th, 2018, disclosing personal financial activities for calendar year 2017. We also have 2018 candidates who were required to file a candidate registration or C1 report with the PDC within 2 weeks of becoming a candidate or than June 1st, 2018. 2018 candidates who were required to file an F1 report with the PDC no later than June 1st, 2018, disclosing personal financial activities for the previous 12 calendar months. In addition, there are 2018 candidates who were required to file both the C1 and F1 reports no later than June 1st, 2018. So for 2018 candidates seeking election in a jurisdiction with more than 5,000 registered voters, they are required to file a C1 report disclosing the office sought, party preference, reporting option selected, principal campaign officers, information about inspection of campaign books, campaign contacts, and other information. Candidates seeking election to office in 2018 and all elected or appointed officials serving in a jurisdiction of more than 1,000 registered voters are required to file an F1 report disclosing personal financial information about their income sources, real estate holdings, assets and investments, creditor information, and entities that they have an ownership interest in or are serving as an officer, director, or board member. In 2018, 326 candidates, or 32% of all candidates, failed to meet their statutory reporting deadline. 1,226 officials, or 21% of all officials, failed to meet their statutory reporting deadline. Elected and appointed officials were sent 7 reminder emails between February and May of this year. Candidates were sent 2 email reminders, one in May, the other in June. The reason for the difference is candidates don't declare until May. On July 16th, 2018, PDC staff mailed 465 warning letters to 359 officials and 106 candidates regarding their missing reports. On August 16th, 2018, PDC staff sent out 231 hearing notices, notifying 190 officials and 41 candidates of their failure to file the F1 report, C1 report, or both. Several officials officials and candidates did not respond to the hearing notices by submitting the missing reports. However, as of last Friday, September 21st, 2018, PDC staff were able to resolve 54 of these cases with a signed statement of understanding and a $100 penalty. Those were offered or accepted by 49 and 5 candidates. Additionally, 72 cases were resolved administratively for reasons such as filing before the hearing notice, accidentally amending rather than filing, extenuating medical and personal circumstances, and technical issues which frustrated compliance. As of September 21st, 2018, 89 officials remained out of compliance, comprising 0.015% of all annual officials. In addition, 20 candidates remained out of compliance, comprising 0.019% of all candidates in election year 2018. These cases will either be heard here today or referred to hearing before the full Public Disclosure Commission as soon as practicable. Thank you, Madam Chair, and we are available for any questions.
Great, and if you could spend just a minute explaining that we have a penalty schedule so that we make sure that all filers and potential violations are treated equitably?
Absolutely. So in WAC 390-37-143, we have a brief adjudicative hearing penalty schedule. There are 3 different penalty schedules, but the one that we'll be operating under today has a limit of $1,000. It breaks down penalties based upon violation of the law and prior found violations within the last 4 years. With each successive violation, the penalty goes up. If the missing report is filed before the hearing notice, the penalty is lower than if it is not, and we use that as a basis to ensure that we are equitable and fair to all who come before us.
Anything you want to add?
No, Madam Chair.
No. So we'll move ahead then with the presentation of cases. The process we'll use today is that I'll have the staff first explain the PDC's case and provide any additional information that we have regarding the respondent's compliance history. And then I'll ask you to let me know whether the respondent is participating, and if so, by phone or in person. And if the respondent wishes to be heard, I'll swear the respondent in, and they can offer any testimony they might like. And for those who are participating by phone, somebody's set up to make those calls?
Yes. Should probably move that over here.
Demonstrating yet again the flexibility this room can now be put to.
Thank you.
Very good, thanks. Okay, so first cases?
So the first cases we'd like to bring up today are actually not going to be heard today. As we were gathering the list for hearing, we found some filers who, due to previous violations in a previous reporting period or 3 prior violations, need to be referred to the full commission in accordance with WAC 390-37-143. And just for the record, I will quickly run through their names and case numbers, but you'll be hearing more about them later. We have Jay Boyle, PDC case number 38862. Robert Callahan, PDC case number 38754. Olivia DeLeon, PDC case number 38942. Kevin Hickson, PDC case number 38837. Jeff Jernigan, 38864, and Brandy Holmes, PDC case number 38857. In addition, there was a single filer that we were unable to serve before the brief hearing by either physical mail or email, and that is Carla Marconi, PDC case 38883, and PDC staff will be seeking a better address to serve for a future brief adjudicative proceeding.
Do you anticipate that last matter coming before us at the next full commission meeting in October?
If we can find an address that we can properly serve by then, absolutely.
Yeah, I'd rather do that than wait until the next round of brief enforcement.
Definitely. Yes.
Okay, So those you'll get on the agenda for the October PDC meeting.
We will, provided we can find a good address.
Yes, but the other 6 as well.
Yes.
Great.
Mhm.
All right. So next up, let's prioritize the filers who are either here or participating by telephone.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have one person attending, Miriam Villagrán Diaz de McBride, who's running for Grant County Sheriff. Let's see here. Okay, so the PDC case number is 39040 for Ms. Diaz. She is a, let's see. We are alleging that Miriam violated RCW 42.17A, .205, and .700 by failing to file or timely file a personal financial affairs statement, PDC Form F1, and the candidate registration form, PDC Form C1. The C1 and F1 report were due to be filed with the PDC within 2 weeks of declaring candidacy with the appropriate elections office. In 2018, candidate filing week was May 14 through 18, so the C1 and F1 report were both due to be filed no later than June 1st.
All right. Come forward. There's a microphone right here.
I'd rather just speak up.
Okay. If I'd like to swear you in first, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you'll be providing will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Pero yo prefiero hablar español y pedí un traductor.
So do you need an interpreter this morning?
Ese es yo lo solicité con anterioridad, por escrito y por palabra.
Since I am not fluent, do we have an interpreter present available?
Sorry, my microphone just turned off.
So we have been attempting to find a telephone interpreter through a language line or something similar, but don't have the capacity to have that for today. So what we were looking at is actually continuing this hearing to a later date when we can have the services that the respondent requires.
Me permite, voy a explicar que yo soy naturalizada. Mi primer idioma es español y mi educación es en español. Y tengo yo un arreglo con el estado de Washington, que está bien explicado la manera en que ustedes deben de haberme escrito, traducir todos los documentos.
So let me, again, I am not fluent, so if you want to get those and I can look at them if helpful.
Do you mind?
Does Ms. Diaz have anybody here with her?
Perdón, pero mi nombre no es Díaz. Díaz es el segundo nombre. Mi nombre es Villagrán Díaz de McBride. Y prefiero que se dirijan a mí de esa manera.
Do we have any Spanish-speaking staff? Diaz or McBride?
Es que es complicado el asunto. Como estoy corriendo para una posición, tengo que usar lo que el gobierno federal demanda. No tengo yo la manera de cambiar el nombre.
Un momento. How have you communicated to date?
Calls, I sent 5 emails to Ms. Diaz, and customer service staff have had 2 phone calls. There's been a lot of communication back and forth. We received things, but they weren't what we requested.
And did you have an interpreter on the phone calls?
No.
And previously, we did receive, as I believe that she just stated, written and phone request to have an interpreter for a meeting previously with Ms. Villagrán Diaz de McBride?
Villagrán Díaz de McBride.
Yes. However, that appointment wasn't kept, and we weren't able to get one today because we didn't receive notice that she would be appearing in person.
El problema es que yo dije lunes, ustedes tenían una fecha.
All right. While we're proceeding with the hearing, do we have capacity to have a staff call the language line?
We have to do the process, we have to set up an account and such, we certainly attempt to do that.
Pero soy sorda. Tiene que ser en persona. Y también tengo pacemaker.
Oh, what, in person?
Sí, porque 4 operaciones de mi oído.
So we'll need to then reschedule. Perhaps you could look at seeing if there might be one available Thursday when we have our commission meeting, and I'll be back for that, if that's helpful. So our options at this point, you can try seeing if there's a language line available.
Perhaps we could move this to the end of the agenda and to give staff time to try to work that language line possibility.
Un momento, por favor.
Pero acuérdate que soy sorda.
Take a seat. All right. Tabitha, let's proceed with some other cases while the team looks at the language line options for us.
Fantastic. Thank you, Madam Chair. So first on the agenda, we have or perhaps not first, we have Deborah Hart, who will be appearing by telephone. I'm just going to call her now.
Please area code when dialing this number. Hello?
Hello, Deborah.
Hello?
Hello, Deborah. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Hi, this is Fox
Yes,
Blackhorn with the
yes.
Public Disclosure Commission. You're in our hearing today.
Okay. Thank you for being amenable to this, because I'm volunteering up at the hospital today in a coffee shop. So I'm just going to take a break right now because I am not making coffee for the next few minutes. So that for the purpose of those around me. That's okay.
All right.
Hello.
Ms. Hart, this is Ann Levinson. I'm chair of the commission, and I'm hearing this matter today, so I'm about to ask Fox to summarize your case, and then if you'd like to add anything, I'll swear you in quickly and have you add anything that you'd like to the record. Okay?
Okay, great. Thank you.
Fox, go ahead.
All right. Thank you, Madam Chair. This is PDC case 38929 concerning Deborah Hart. Deborah Hart is an incumbent school director for Goldendale School District 404. Staff is alleging that Deborah Hart violated RCW 4217A 700 by failing to file the Personal Financial Affairs Statement, PDC Form F1. The F1 report was due to be filed with the PDC no later than April 16th, 2018, disclosing financial activities for calendar year 2017. Deborah Hart has failed to file the missing F1 report by today's hearing date. Deborah Hart has no prior violations with the PDC. Deborah Hart is participating at the hearing by telephone. And staff recommends that you find a violation of RCW 4217A 700 against Deborah Hart for failing to file or timely file the F1 report and assess an appropriate penalty in accordance with WAC 390-37143 for a filer with no prior violations who failed to file the F1 report by the hearing, which would be $250. Staff is also recommending that we suspend $100 of that penalty, conditioned upon no further violations of Chapter 4217A RCW or Title 390 WAC in the next 4 years, and that the respondent files the missing report within 30 days of the order.
Ms. Hart, would you like to add anything?
Yes, I would.
Okay,
In
hold on.
2014, and
Ms. Hart, hold on just a second.
Okay.
You'll raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you'll be providing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I solemnly swear.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Okay. I have been a school director. This is my 25th year. I have filed each and every year without delay. The only time I was almost late was I was in Olympia on April 15th, and I actually went physically to PDC office and did so in person so that I would not be late. In 2014, I was diagnosed with cancer in February of that year, and I was undergoing chemo in April, and I still managed to file on time. I have filed on time or early every year that I have been an elected official. I filed in 2017. I did so by the paper method, and I'm not responsible for what the post office may or may not do with things after they leave my hands. But I filed, and I live on Social Security disability. I live on less than $1,000 a month, and with that, I pay my house payments, my taxes, my insurance not only for my home, but for my vehicle, which is paid for, but it's got over 300,000 miles on it, and I can't afford to replace it. I pay all of my utilities. If I have any extra money left over, I buy food after I've made my copays on my medicines, which are extremely expensive. And a fine is a hardship, which I would be glad to file again, but I filed. And I can't even quite figure out how to say it, but it just seems that with the track record of filing for so many years, and even under circumstances of hardship, why would you think I didn't file this year? And I'm sorry to sound offensive, but I'm very frustrated.
No, I completely understand that. Let me just ask the staff. So the agency didn't receive anything, and you followed up and asked her to resend? Or?
Correct, yes. And traditionally, it would be our procedure to close something administratively if somebody had extenuating medical circumstances, but in conversations, she wished to appear in hearings. So that is why we're here today.
But did you ultimately receive the copy?
No, we have not.
So, Ms. Hart, did you resend the filing?
No, I have not, because I wasn't quite sure what to do. It said to send it and a check, and I wasn't going to send a check because I didn't have the money to send it. And so I called, I emailed, and I was told to write the stuff for you folks today. And I'm sorry I'm a little tired today. We're up in Spokane for Legislative Assembly for the School Directors Association on Friday and Saturday. And I'm pulling an extra volunteer shift for the hospital foundation today. So I've been making coffee since 7 o'clock this morning.
All right. So, Ms. Hart, are you able to send in either electronically or by postal mail later today your required report?
Yes, I could do that. Either way, whichever you prefer. I'd have to go to the school district to do it electronically because I don't have the capacity to do that at home.
So if you're able to do it electronically, I'll defer any decision on this. We have another commission meeting on Thursday. If we don't have the report in and compliance by Thursday, we'll go ahead with the recommended penalty then. But if you go ahead and get it in, I'll consider that compliance. All right?
Appreciate that very much. I thank you.
All right. And do you have the phone number of the staff here if you need help on getting that in? Or
I've got the main number, which is the 7111 or the 9111. I think it's 7111 or 1111. Anyway, I've got it. I've got it written down.
Yes.
All right. So if you need any help, ask for Tabitha. And Tabitha, would you make sure to send an email back to her when you receive this, confirming receipt, that make sure it's complete and timely.
Absolutely.
All right. So Ms. Hart, that's how we'll proceed. You file electronically by the end of the day. We'll get a confirmation to you if you do that, and if not done, we'll go ahead and set this for Thursday's calendar.
Absolutely.
All right?
Okay.
All right.
I thank you very much.
You bet. Thank you very much.
You have a great day.
You too. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, so Tabitha, you've got that one for follow-up, okay?
Yes.
All right, you have other telephonic participants?
Yes. The next participant is Fawn Sharp Malvini. I will call him now.
Good morning. This is Fawn.
Hello, Fawn. This is Fox Blackhorn Delph, and I'm with the Public Disclosure Mission. You are in our hearing today.
Hi. Good morning. I'm gonna over here so I can make sure I have cell service.
Okay.
Okay. I'm all clear.
Great. Ms. Sharp Mulvaney, this is Ann Levinson. I'm chair of the commission, and I'm hearing these cases today. So I'm going to ask the staff to do a quick overview of your case, and then if you'd like to add anything, I'll swear you in, and you can tell me what it is what else I should know, okay?
Okay.
All right, Fox, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is PDC case 39020 concerning Fawn Sharp Malvini. Fawn Sharp Malvini is an incumbent college trustee or regent of Grace Harbor College. Staff is alleging that Fawn Sharp Malvini violated RCW 4217A 700 by failing to timely file the Personal Financial Affairs Statement or F1 report. The F1 report was due to be filed with the PDC no later than April 16, 2018, disclosing financial activities for calendar year 2017. Fawn Sharp Malvini filed the missing F1 report on September 21st, 2018. Fawn has no prior violations with the PDC, and Fawn Sharp Malvini is participating at the hearing by telephone today. Staff recommends that you find a violation of RCW 4217A 700 against Fawn Sharp Malvini for failing to timely file the F1 report and assess an appropriate penalty in accordance with WAC 390-37-143 for a filer with no violations who filed the F1 report by the date of the hearing, which would be $150. We are also recommending that the chair suspend $100 of that $150 penalty.
All right. Ms. Sharp Mulvaney, would you like to add anything? And if so, I'll swear you in.
Yes, I would, please.
All right. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you'll be providing this morning will be truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I want to thank you for this hearing, and just simply state there's no excuse. I am a required person that's supposed to be filing my PDC. There's no excuse, but I do have just a question that I have an assistant who tracks this for me regularly. This was many other memberships and things I have. I'm a member of the Washington State Bar Association. I have several annual things that I am to do. And this notice went in previous years as well as personal. And this year, for some reason, it only went to my personal email, which was fawnmalvini@ymail.com. And so my assistant knew it was coming up soon, wasn't tracking it. And that's the only reason I should have known. I mean, it's in April sometime, but that personal email at Fawn Malvini, I probably get, I don't know, 100 a day. Most of it has been spam things. In fact, I didn't really pay attention to it anymore. But it wasn't got the hard copy of them. I saw what happened. I went back and just
did a search on my FawnYmail.com, typed in PDC, and then all the ones came up from the previous, and so I was able to get that off to her. So no excuse. I will be better at that. In fact, I just finished up my Grace Harbor College trustee thing, so I don't know if I'll be reporting to PDC after this. But I just wanted to say thank you for the hearings. Thank you for the opportunity to at least present some facts about what happened here, and I look forward to doing whatever I need to do to accept the consequences for the late filing. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Based on what you've shared with me, I will accept the staff's recommendation to suspend part of this penalty. So having found a violation, I will first find that the record does support a violation of 4217A 700 for failing to timely file the required F1 report for 2017. And then having found that violation, I'll assess the penalty of $150 in accordance with our penalty schedule, which is WAC 390.37.143. But I will suspend 100 of that, conditioned upon the respondent being in compliance with reporting requirements, paying the non-suspended portion of the penalty within 30 days, and committing no further violations of RCW 4517A or Chapter 390 WAC for a period of 4 years from the date of this final order. So, assuming you stay in compliance with any ongoing reporting requirements, you simply owe $50. As long as you get that taken care of, you'll be all set.
Okay, thank you. I will take care of that right away.
All right, so I'll ask the staff to follow up. An order will be issued memorializing this, and we'll get that within 10 business days, okay?
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, you too.
Madam Chair, if I may interject, I also ask staff to, I think we're doing this as a regular course now anyway, but to remind the filer that they now have an obligation to, yes, and keep their email address up to date. So that I think that might be helpful in this case.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me of that. And we were going to look, I think we'll talk about this on Thursday, but we're going to look at the form also to make sure all our forms highlight that now.
Yeah, and all of our, Fox, I believe I saw email that I caught up on over the weekend that our Fresh Desk system now has, as part of the email signature, noticed to everybody that that's the official means of communication to keep that up to date.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, anybody else telephonically?
Yes, Madam Chair. We had one who is a little out of order, just got a phone number this morning, and that is Juan Aguilar, which I will call now. Hello, is this Juan?
Yes, this is Juan.
Hi, this is Fox Blackhorn with the Public Disclosure Commission. You are on the line now in our hearing today.
And
Yes.
Mr. Aguilar, this is in the chair of the commission, and I'll be hearing your case. I'll ask the staff to do a brief presentation, and then if you'd like to add anything, I'll swear you in, and you can add any testimony you'd like as well. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, Fox, go ahead.
Just be one moment, gotta find them on the list. Okay, so, thank you, Madam Chair. This is PDC case 39025 for Juan Aguilar. Juan is an incumbent commission member for the Economic Development Finance Authority. Staff is alleging that Juan violated RCW 4217A 700 by failing to timely file the Personal Financial Affairs Statement, or F1 report. The F1 report was due to be filed with the PDC no later than April 16, 2018, disclosing financial activities for calendar year 2017. Juan filed the missing report on August 22nd, 2018, has no prior violations with the PDC, and Juan is participating at the hearing by telephone today. Staff recommends that you find a violation of RCW 4217A 700 against Juan Aguilar for failing to timely file the F1 report and assess an appropriate penalty in accordance with WAC 390-37143 for a filer with no prior violations who filed the F1 report by the date of the hearing. That penalty would be $150 that staff is also recommending $100 to be suspended of.
All right, thank you. Mr. Aguilar, if you'd like to say anything, I'll swear you in now if you raise your right hand.
Yes, I've raised my hand.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you'll be providing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do, ma'am.
Thank you. Please go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak. First of all, I apologize for my lateness in responding to the F1 report. As you had stated, I had always been, I had no prior lateness. And to be totally candid with you, the April 16 notice to renew, it got by me. I don't recall seeing the original. My wife and I, we collect the mail, and we have a place in the house where we put anything that's important, in a little box for me and for her. And somehow that got by me. And then I believe I got another reminder, and that's when I said I better take action and get it all in. I think that was in June, July. But in July, I aggravated my left knee because I have a partial knee replacement. And then I was doing yard work, and I threw my back, and it was it put me down for the whole month of July and part of August. I didn't work at all the month of July because of the pain to my back and my knee at the same time. So I had some time at home, and I got to looking at what I needed to take care of in the way of mail and things, and that's when I said, well, God, I better get this in and get it all done. And so I submitted it, in which you got it on the week of August 22nd, 2018. No real excuse, just a lapse of mind combined with a little bit of a injury. So I apologize for any inconvenience. It was not intentional, and I hope that you keep me on this commission, and that perhaps I'll be excused from violation because it was not intentional. As you can see from my prior activity and how I submit my paperwork.
Okay. Anything else from the staff?
No, Madam Chair.
All right. Well, thank you for that, Mr. Aguilar. I will find that in the matter of this case, which is PDC case 39025, that the record does support a violation of RCW 4217A 700 for failing to timely file the required F1 report certifying financial information for calendar year 2017. Having found a violation consistent with our penalty schedule, the penalty imposed for first instance would be $150. But given what you've shared here today in your participation in the hearing, I will go ahead and suspend $100 of that, so you'll only owe $50 as long as you pay that non-suspended portion within 30 days and commit no further violations of the statute, which is RCW 4517A, or the WAC, which is Chapter 390. So the rules or the statute, as long as you stay in compliance.
Okay. Okay. Very good. I'll get a notice where to mail it in, or should I just get a cashier's check and mail it to
An order will be issued within 10 days, and as long as you
Okay.
respond quickly to that and get that taken care of, you'll be all set.
Okay, I will do that. Thank you so much for your consideration, and I sincerely apologize for any inconvenience I may have caused this particular body that reviews the timeliness of submitting due paperwork.
Thank you. Appreciate that, and I appreciate the fact that you have otherwise been in compliance, and appreciate your public service. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
All right, any other telephonic participants?
Yes, Madam Chair, we have, I believe, 3 more telephone participants. The next one is Daniel McGill.
You do not dial 9. Yes. Yes. Now push the same button? Nope, the big telephone button. And then push it so that you get a ringtone first. There you go.
Sorry about that.
Hello, this is Dan.
Hi, Daniel. This is Tabitha Blacksmith and the Commissioner Ann Levine and the PDC calling, and you're in our hearing today.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
So, Mr. McGill, this is Ann Levinson. I'm Chair of the Commission, and I'll be hearing your case this morning. I'll ask the staff to briefly summarize, and then if you'd like to add anything, I'll swear you in, and you can add anything to the record you would like to, okay?
Certainly.
All right. Tabitha, please go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is PDC case number 39055 for Daniel McGill, who is a candidate for the Skamania County Prosecutor's Office. Staff is alleging that Daniel violated RCW 42.17A.205 for failing to file his C1 report, timely file his candidate registration PDC Form C1. The C1 report was due to be filed with the PDC within 2 weeks of declaring candidacy with the appropriate elections office. In 2018, candidate filing week was May 14 through 18, so the C1 report was due to be filed no later than June 1st. We recently received Daniel's F1 report, so we can strike that off the agenda. But we do still need the C1 report, which was due on June 1st. Daniel doesn't have any prior violations with the PDC. He is participating by phone. And our recommendation is that you find a violation of RCW 17A.205 against Daniel McGill for failing to file or timely file the C1 report and assess an appropriate penalty in accordance with WAC 39037.1, for a filer with no prior violations who has not filed the C1 report by the date of the hearing, but who is participating by phone. It'll be $150, and we're recommending a suspension of $100.
All right. Mr. McGill, if you'd like to be heard, I'll ask you to raise your right hand, and you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you'll be providing this morning will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Please go ahead.
Yes, and first of all, I do apologize to the Commission for the filing issues. It really was from a lack of experience and kind of running this on my own. I did file the F1. I did not see, and it's, again, I'm sure it's clearly there, the C1 ability to file that online, and I think I just missed it. I do have a handwritten one that I can drop in the mail, and I'll do that today, along with the check for the fine. I'm not contesting where things are at. I just put forward, and it's a horrible mitigating factor that essentially it's a lack of experience and lack of, I guess, anyone else to help me out through this. And it's not that, actually, I take that back because I think that there is aid available if I were to hop on the website or call over to the Commission. Again, my newness to it made it seem a little bit overwhelming, and at the same time, just new to me and on the process. So I apologize again. I can go ahead and get that dropped in the mail to you today. I was hoping to get it to the board before the hearing, but just living rurally and then a combination of work and family issues made it hard to get to a place where I could get it off to you in a timely fashion.
All right. Thank you for that. I appreciate your candidness in that. So in the matter of PDC case 39055, I'll find that the record does support a violation of RCW 4217A-205 by Daniel McGill for failing to timely file the required C1 candidation within 2 weeks of becoming a candidate. And having found that violation, I'll assess a penalty in the amount of $150 in accordance with our penalty schedule. But as long as the required report is in by the end of the day, I'll suspend out of that. And the $50 remaining needs to be paid within 30 days. And Mr. McGill, the suspension will also be conditioned upon no further violations of the statute or the WAC for a period of 4 years. All right?
Okay.
So-
All right. One question in regard to the end of the day filing. Is that something that I would need to do online, or would it be the time of mailing that would make it done by the end of the day?
If you could do it electronically, then I can make sure the staff send you an electronic confirmation by the end of the day, and we'll know that you're all set.
Okay, I appreciate that.
All right.
And if I run into any issues in doing that, I can just call and
Yes.
ask for a little guidance on how that works.
Yes, call the PDC and ask for Tabitha. She's on point for your case.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Well, again, I appreciate your time. Sorry we had to go through this process, and I'll get that wrapped up today.
Thank you, and we'll issue an order within 10 days, so you'll have that in writing, and then you can make sure to get that $50 in. Okay?
All right, that sounds good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Next matter.
We have a telephone participant, Julie Smith. Call her now.
Hi, thanks for calling. Sorry I can't get the phone in person right now, but your message is important, as are you.
Would you like me to proceed with?
Yeah, why don't we go ahead to the next one, and we can circle back.
Okay. The next telephone participant is Joyce Stanford.
This is Joyce Stanford.
Hi, Joyce. This is Tabitha Blacksmith at PDC and Commissioner Levinson.
Hello.
In our hearing this morning. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, Ms. Stanford. This is Ann Levinson. I'm chair of the commission, and I'm hearing your case this morning. I'll ask the staff to do a brief overview, and then if you'd like to add anything, I'll quickly swear you in and ask for any testimony you'd like to provide. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Tabitha, is this yours?
Yes.
Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is PDC case number 38969 concerning Joyce Stanford, who is a candidate running for state representative for Legislative District 26 House. She is, staff is alleging that Joyce Stanford violated RCW 42.17A.700 for failing to timely file the Personal Financial Affairs Statement, PDC Form F1. The F1 report was due to be filed with the PDC within 2 weeks of the candidate declaring candidacy with the appropriate elections office. As candidate filing week was May 14 through 18, this would have made that report due by June 1st, 2018. Joy did file the missing report on August 22nd, 2018. She has no prior violations with the PDC. She is participating by phone, and we're recommending a penalty of $150 with $100 suspended for filing the report before the hearing.
Tabitha, was the C1 filed?
Yes.
I believe so. She's not on our list for needing a C1.
Ms. Stanford, if you'll raise your right hand, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you'll be providing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Let me ask you, did you get the C1 filed timely?
Yes, ma'am. I believe my treasurer did that one.
All right.
Because that was the problem. I wasn't keeping track of C1, F1. It was just a lot of numbers and letters, and so that definitely was my fault that I didn't send that last one in a timely manner.
All right. So with regard to the F1, it's now in.
It was received August 22nd.
All right. Anything else you'd like me to know, Ms. Stanford?
I sent in the $100 and the signed statement. Was that Friday? Thursday of last week? No, we sent it Thursday, either Wednesday or Thursday. It should have gotten to you by Friday, but I was told it might take 2 days instead of 1 day, but it's definitely postmarked on the 19th.
All right. So let me ask the staff, you've not received that yet?
No, they have to go through Department of Enterprise Services, so there was a little bit of a lag time, but they do notify us when they come in.
So let's do this.
That should have been there already.
The statement of understanding, if you would check, and as long as we have that received with the payment of $100, we'll consider this matter closed. If you don't get that, we'll set this for Thursday. So, Ms. Stanford, I'll be back again on Thursday for a commission meeting and some additional hearings. So if there's any problem with the statement of understanding or the $100, I'll ask the staff to follow up with you and let you know that. All right? And then I'll put this back on the Thursday calendar if we don't get that wrapped up. Otherwise, I'll consider the matter closed at this point. Okay?
Okay, great. Thank you. I do apologize. As a first-time candidate, I just I didn't have a campaign manager at the time, so I've learned my lesson.
Yes, and we recognize that the statutes can be complicated and challenging, particularly for first-time candidates, and we don't want to unintentionally cause folks not to run. So the staff do a great job at trying to reach out and help get them compliant. So.
Yes, they did. They did. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Take care now.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Shall we try Ms. Smith again?
Let's do that.
Hi, thanks for calling. Sorry, I can't.
One of you go ahead and separately just leave her a message, letting her know we were expecting her for this hearing, and if she calls in while we're still going on, she should call back and ask. I was going to do that on that call.
Through the next.
You can do it separately, and if you want to do it, one of you can do it offline. Just let her know when we take a break.
We take a break. Okay.
All right. Sure. All right. So, I have you on point for Ms. Stanford checking on that SOU, making sure that is in, right?
Yes.
And if it's any problem there, you'll set it for Thursday. And then Ms. Smith, you'll follow up offline to see what's going on with her and if she's still available to participate. Okay? All right. So any other telephonic participants, Fox?
No, Madam Chair.
And we have an interpreter scheduled to arrive in just a few minutes.
Good.
So in order to be efficient, you've got several that you have, three that you have grouped as written materials.
There are actually 4, Madam Chair. 3 of them are annuals and 1 of them is a candidate.
Okay, I see. All right, so let me just do, moving this, so with regard to Christopher Haugen, PDC case 38945, Carmen Nopes 38810, and Tony Overmeyer 38884, those are failure to file the financial affairs F1s.
Yes.
And with regard to Karen Walker 38912, that's failure to file the C1.
Correct.
And I have a written record that you've provided me for each of those.
Okay.
So if you would like to summarize the facts that in those written records, you should feel free to do that.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, the first case is PDC case 38945 for Christopher Haugen. Christopher is an incumbent school director for the Nooksack School District 506. Staff is alleging that Christopher Haugen violated RCW 4217A-700 by failing to timely file the Personal Financial Affairs Statement or F1 report. The F1 report was due to be filed with the PDC no later than April 16, 2018, disclosing financial activities for calendar year 2017. Christopher filed the missing F1 report on September 5th, 2018, has no prior found violations of PDC laws or rules. Christopher Haugen is participating through written testimony today, and PDC staff recommends that you find a violation of RCW 4217A-700 against Christopher Haugen for failing to timely file the F1 report and assess an appropriate penalty in accordance with WAC 390-37143 for a filer with no prior violations who filed the F1 report by the date of the hearing. And that penalty, staff is recommending a $150 penalty in accordance with the penalty schedule, and of that, staff recommends that $100 be suspended.
All right, why don't you go ahead with the other two, if you would?
Fantastic. The next is PDC case number 38810 for Carmen Nopes. Carmen is an incumbent city council member in the city of Goldendale. Staff is alleging that Carmen Nopes violated RCW 4217A-700 by failing to timely file the Personal Financial Affairs Statement or F1 report. The F1 report was due to be filed with the PDC no later than April 16, 2018, disclosing financial activity for calendar year 2017. Carmen Nopes filed the missing F1 report on August 17, 2018, has no prior found violations of PDC laws or rules, and is participating at the hearing through written testimony. Staff also recommends that you find a violation of RCW 4217A-700 against Carmen Nopes for failing to timely file the F1 report and assess an appropriate penalty in accordance with WAC 390-37143 for a filer with no prior violations who failed to timely file the F1 report, or who did file the F1 report by the date of the hearing. Excuse me. That penalty would be $150, and staff recommends that $100 be suspended. The third case is PDC case number 38884 for Tony Overmeyer. Tony is an incumbent Park and Recreation Commissioner for the Des Moines Pool Metro Park District. Staff is alleging that Tony Overmeyer violated RCW 4217A-700 by failing to timely file the Personal Financial Affairs Statement or F1 report. The F1 report was due to be filed with the PDC no later than April 16, 2018, disclosing financial activities for calendar year 2017. Tony Overmeyer filed the missing F1 report on September 20th, has no prior found violations of PDC laws or rules, and is participating in the hearing today through written testimony. Staff recommends that you find violation of RCW 4217A 700 against Tony Overmeyer for failing to timely file the F1 report and assess an appropriate penalty in accordance with WAC 39837-143 for a filer with no privations who filed the F1 report by the date of the hearing. That penalty would be $150, which staff is recommending $100 be suspended. Thank you.
Thank you. So just I've reviewed each of these, the written records, but with regard to Ms. Overmeyer's record, do you have a response on the point that the filer is saying it was filed on time via fax and regular mail?
So the PDC can only accept reports that are filed via U.S. mail or through one of our electronic filing applications. We cannot accept fax or emailed reports. Multiple staff members have reached out via phone, via email, trying to get a proper filing. We finally did receive a proper filing through U.S. mail that was postmarked on September 20th, but prior to that had not received the missing report.
She indicated that she sent it both via fax and regular mail, but we didn't receive.
He did. Yes.
And then the comment about there was not any instruction on the F1 form that indicates faxes are not acceptable.
I don't know about that, Madam Chair.
So that's, well, just for future, that's still a point of confusion for people. Perhaps we could add that to our F1. Okay. So in these three cases, 38945, 38810, 38884, I find that the record does support a violation of RCW 4217A 700 for each respondent failing to timely file the required F1 report certifying the financial information for calendar year 2007. Having found a violation, I'll assess the penalty in the amount of $150 in accordance with our penalty schedule, but also accept the staff recommendation to suspend $100 in each, so the $50 payment would be owing, as long as each respondent is in compliance with their reporting requirements, pays the non-suspended portion within 30 days, and commits no further violations of the statute or the WAC for a period of 4 years from the date of the order. And we will issue a written order in each of those to get out within 10 days. And then with regard to 38912, is that yours, Tabitha?
Yes, Madam Chair. This is PDC case number 38912 concerning Karen Walker. Karen Walker is a candidate seeking the Cowlitz County Treasurer's Office. She is a first-time candidate. Staff is alleging that Karen violated RCW 42.17A .205 for failing to file or timely file the candidate registration PDC Form C1. The C1 report was due to be filed with the PDC within 2 weeks of the candidate declaring their candidacy. In 2018, filing week was May 14th through 18th, so the report was due to be filed no later than June 1st. Karen Walker did file the missing C1 report on August 22nd, 2018. Karen has no prior violations with the PDC. That doesn't apply, excuse me. Staff is recommending that a violation of $150 and $100 to be suspended. Madam Chair.
So, Tabitha, the record that's in front of me, the filer is indicating that she's withdrawn her candidacy.
Yes, it was received post primary, so it was after the primary. So we required that before the primary. So I'm not sure how we would want to treat that.
All right, but you have, someone has verified that she's withdrawn her seat?
So what the PDC allows for candidates, we have a form that is a termination of candidacy. With the Secretary of State, there's only one day that you can officially withdraw and get your name off of the ballot. So if somebody terminates their candidacy before they appear on a ballot, then we will accept a termination of candidacy where they declare that if they are elected, they will not accept the position, and as a result, we do not request the F1 and the C1 reports. However, when that comes after they have successfully passed through the primary and kicked someone out of that slot, we do not accept the termination of candidacy.
I'm not sure I understand the logic in that distinction. If they've now terminated, we had a school district case a couple of months ago. The individual terminated for candidacy, and we simply asked for certification or validation from the school district.
That's right, and I don't remember all of the details of that one, but that does sound familiar. I think the distinction that Fox is drawing is that if you've gone through the primary and somebody else has been eliminated from the general election because of your taking your candidacy that far, that at the very least voters and other interested parties ought to have the benefit of your C1 and F1 filings.
And that's been a consistent practice. I'm just looking at the rest of the information that she was saying that she was told first that she didn't need to.
I can't speak to the specifics of those discussions. I'm not sure, Fox, whether you're involved in those or not. But it is something that has been a subject of discussion internally at the PDC to make sure that we are consistent and we have a policy that makes logical sense and obviously is consistent with law and rule.
All right. So you have the missing report at this point, and the issue is the post-primary nature of the withdrawal.
That is correct.
And we do have verification that she's no longer a candidate? We don't.
I cannot recall, Madam Chair. We can include that in your order?
Yeah. We should make sure to confirm that she's...
She will remain on the ballot nonetheless.
Right.
So yeah, it raises the issue of, and could very well win the election, or theoretically anybody in that circumstance could.
Yeah, I think in the other matter, we ended up asking for some sort of documentation that the individual wouldn't serve even if elected.
That's right, and then I believe we reported back to the commission that we confirmed that was the case.
So any issue in doing something analogous for this individual?
I think we could do that, sure.
We did receive that. A statement of termination is, I believe, what you're talking about, where if they're elected, that they won't take the position, or they'll be subject to, will be subject to enforcement.
Yes.
We did receive that.
Right.
We did receive that. It's our practice to, if the person was not appearing on the primary ballot and the first that they appeared was the general, then we would accept that up to the general. But as the primary had already occurred and Karen had passed through that, then we did not accept that.
All right. So I think what I'll do in this matter then is, so this is PDC case 38912. The respondent is Karen Walker. I do find the record supports a violation of RCW 4217A205 for failing to timely file the required C1 candidate registration. And having found that violation, I'll assess a penalty in the amount of $150 in accordance with our penalty schedule. I'll suspend it in its entirety as long as the candidate is not serving, so does not take office. And if if the candidate does take office, then I'll authorize the staff to move forward and require payment of the $150 penalty.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, and then the interpreter has arrived for that prior matter. So, let me ask the staff the case.
That's 39040. It's on page 4 of our collected materials. It's the last one in that first group.
All right, do you want to come forward to the microphone, please? And I'll ask you to introduce yourself for the record, and I'll swear you.
Para que conste en el registro. Mi nombre es Miriam Elizabeth Villagrán Díaz de McBride y es contra la ley de migración que yo cambie mi nombre.
My name is Miriam Elizabeth Villagran Diaz de McBride, and it is against the law, immigration law, for me to change my name.
Okay. Let me ask the interpreter to identify herself for the record.
Yes, Your Honor, for the record, my name is Fanny Cordero, Cordero.
And I'll swear you both in, and then take testimony after I hear from the staff.
Voy a prestar juramento
Solemnly swear or affirm that any testimony provided this morning will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
So let me turn to the staff for a summary again of this case.
Yes, Madam Chair. This is PDC case number 39040 concerning Miriam Villagran Diaz de McBride, who was a candidate seeking the Grant County Sheriff's Office. Staff is alleging that Miriam violated RCW 42.17A.205 and
Slow down.
my apologies. Staff is alleging that Miriam violated RCW 42.17A.205 and .700 to file or timely file the personal financial affairs statement, which is PDC Form F1, and the candidate registration, PDC Form C1. The C1 and F1 reports were due to be filed with the PDC within 2 weeks of declaring candidacy, or no later than June 1st, 2018. To date, Miriam has not filed the missing C1 and F1 report. Miriam has no prior violations with the PDC. She is participating in person, and staff is recommending a violation of $500 for the 2 missing reports and a suspension. Suspending $250. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Could you clarify for me, Tabitha, as the respondent, been a candidate before?
She did file in 2016. We have a C1 and F1 report on file from 2016.
Would you like to add anything?
Quisiera usted añadir algo?
Sí, creo que debo explicaciones.
Yes, I think I need to explain some things.
Yo corrí para la posición porque ya me cansé de toda la vida difícil que nos dan en el pueblo donde yo vivo.
I ran for that position because I'm tired of the life that we have in where I live, in the town where I live.
Hubo una persona que estaba elegida y que era miembro del council. Me dijo que estuvo presente en un meeting donde tenía la intención de blackmail.
Okay, a person who was elected and who was in the city council, who was present there, told me in a meeting that they had intentions of blackmailing me
Para que yo vendiera mis tierras.
so that I would sell my land.
Yo tuve la suerte que
I was
compré
lucky enough that I bought
propiedades de tax lien,
properties
tax lien,
that were tax liened
que el alcalde de repente decidió que eran muy importantes para la ciudad.
that all of a sudden the mayor decided that they were too important for the city to keep.
Antes de eso, yo publiqué
Before
un
that,
documento
I published a document
en el periódico
in the newspaper.
de casi 5 hojas,
It's almost a 5-page
Donde yo puse
document
de
where I listed
todo lo que me hacen.
all the things that were done to me.
Ni siquiera me dan agua desde 2015
Since 2015, they are not even providing water for me,
y se lo hacen a muchas personas.
and they do that to many people.
A consecuencia, una persona murió de sed.
As a matter of fact, someone died due to thirst,
Entonces yo no sabía todo este papeleo.
and I didn't know about all of this paperwork.
Y si lo querían que yo lo supiera, pues
And
la
if
persona de elecciones
They wanted
de
me to
allá
know about this, the people in charge of elections
se
there.
podía haber sentado conmigo
They
y
could
me
have sat
dice,
down and told me about this,
pero no es manera de mandarnos a la casa ahí que ustedes se comuniquen por idioma.
but this
que
is
el computer-
not a way to just send people home and then communicating by computer in another language.
Yo no tengo Wi-Fi.
I do not have Wi-Fi.
Yo tal vez voy una vez cada 2 semanas al library.
I sometimes go once every 2 weeks or once a week to the library
O a McDonald's.
or to McDonald's.
Y mi dirección es un post office box.
My address is a P.O. box.
Y una persona aquí dijo que a él no le importaba
Someone here said that they didn't care.
de que han matado muchos miembros de mi familia,
Many people in my family have been assassinated.
que era responsabilidad
And
de
it was-
ustedes dar mi dirección donde yo vivía.
It's your responsibility to give me an address or send me mail to the address.
No. Yo quería que
No, I
mandaran
wanted
todo
you to
en el
send
post office box.
to the P.O. box.
Pero aquí
But
dijeron que no
someone
les
here
importaba
said that they
nada
didn't care.
mi safety.
They didn't care about my safety.
Ahí tiene que haber manera
There has to be a way
en que nos permiten
in which we
hablar en
are
público,
allowed
defendernos
to speak in public,
de una
to
manera pacífica.
defend myself or ourselves in a calm manner, in a peaceful
Es
way.
la única manera que
This
una
is
democracia
the only
permite
way
es la
that a
libertad de la palabra.
democracy can allow freedom of speech.
Okay, thank you for that.
Gracias.
Let me ask you a couple of questions. The staff have advised me that you
El
filed
personal me indicó
these
que
forms
usted
last
archivó
time you ran?
estas formas la
Que yo
última
me
vez.
acuerde, no.
As far as I remember, no.
Pero si alguien me lo hizo de ayudarme, no
But
sé.
if somebody helped me to fill out those forms, I don't know.
Tal vez lo mandaron,
May-
porque
Maybe they sent them
yo
because
no lo hice.
I did not do it.
And are you candidate?
¿Y
Pues
usted
sí.
todavía se está postulando?
Recibí
Yeah, Yes.
2.500, 600, 2.500 votos.
I've
Quiere decir
received
que otros no están
1,500 to
conformes.
2,000 votes, so that means people are not happy or they want me.
Y también
And also,
Paz.
I am
Papá era-
capable.
era, jefe
I
de
am
policía
competent.
donde venimos,
My father was a chief of police for where I come from,
y yo tuve la suerte en mi vida que he sido
and
una
I'm
vida
lucky
cómoda.
that in my life I've had a comfortable life.
Entonces yo me he educado yo misma
So
sin tener que ir a la
I
escuela.
have been able to educate myself without going to school.
Let me ask one other question. Do you understand that this state law
La ley estatal
requires that anyone who's a
que cualquier
candidate for
persona que es
office
candidato para postularse
completes the-
necesita rellenar estas formas.
Otherwise, we are required to impose a fine.
No lo sabía.
I did not know that.
So there are
Entonces,
2 forms you are required to fill out.
que se tienen que rellenar.
Dile que yo lo mandé. en
I
estas
sent it, and these dates, 7/31/2018 and 7/30/2018. These are facts. I'm holding a fax transmittal verification reports.
So you have filled out the form?
Entonces, ¿usted ha rellenado las formas?
Cuando esa señorita me mandó
When that
los
lady
formularios por
sent me, when that lady sent me the forms by mail, here are the copies. Bien. Perfecto.
So, well, we have,
Entonces, ahora que tenemos,
Yo no sé cuál faltó. Y todos fueron juntos.
I think they all
Eran
went
7
together.
páginas,
There were
14
7
páginas.
pages and 14 pages.
14 páginas,
Four-
todas juntas.
14 pages all together.
so while we have an interpreter present,
Ahora que tenemos un intérprete
I'd like
presente,
to ask
quisiera preguntar
Tabitha to go ahead and take a look at
a la
the
abogada
forms,
que
see if
revise
we
estos
have what we
formularios
need.
para ver si tenemos lo
what's
que,
required
lo
by
que se
law.
necesita por la ley.
Perhaps we can resolve
Quizás
this,
podemos resolver
or
esto
Fox, whomever.
hoy.
Dile que es posible que cuando se fue el fax,
It's
una
possible
página estaba pegada a
that when
otra.
the fax went through, that a page got stuck to another.
So there are a couple things that we need on the candidate registration.
Hay dos cosas que necesitamos en el formulario de candidatos.
And so the first thing we
La
need
primera
is
cosa es que
what
necesitamos
bank you have
cuál es el
for your
banco
campaign
de usted para
finances.
su campaña
Nada.
o finanzas. Nothing.
Dile que
Nothing.
todo dice no, 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 no tengo nada.
This says no, none, none, none. I don't have it.
I don't have anything. I don't ask for money. and
I'm not asking for money.
I don't have anything.
I
No,
don't
no,
have
no,
that.
no.
So in order for
Para
the
poder
candidate registration to be
registrar, hacer el proceso de registro para candidatos, hay que tener una cuenta que
register,
está registrada
and we need to know the bank.
y necesitamos conocer el nombre del banco.
And that,
Dile que yo abrí una cuenta
I opened an account
en un banco
in a bank
y que puse $30
and I put $30 there.
y que lo cogieron de fee todos los meses y la cerraron.
And they took fees out of that, and then the bank took fees out of that, and then they closed it.
how did you pay the candidate?
¿Cómo pagaste por
mi
el
chequera.
dinero de registro? With a check.
And what bank is the check from?
¿Y de qué banco está
El único
tu
banco
cheque?
que tengo.
The only bank that I have.
So that's what we need on
Eso
there.
es lo que necesitamos
El
ahí.
otro.
It's there on the other one.
If you can put that on
Si
here.
puede usted escribir eso ahí, por favor.
¿Dónde?
Where? Where?
Right here.
Aquí. El banco.
And then you'll also want to check that box.
Y también hay que marcar esta casilla.
But only if you will accept no more than $500.
Pero solamente si usted
Dile que yo no
dice
acepto
que...
ni un centavo, que no tengo ni la intención de
Ok,
aceptar nada.
déjeme terminar lo que él dijo. Solamente si no va a aceptar más de $500. Menos, solamente si vas a aceptar menos de $500.
Dile que voy a aceptar cero.
I'm accepting zero money.
Okay.
Bien.
And then if you can write this
Si
email
puedes
address right
escribir
there,
esta
then it looks good.
dirección de
Bueno,
correo.
dile que ese
Okay,
email
so
address
this
es de mi
email address
mamá,
is my mother's.
pero que estoy usando el
But I'm
computador de
using
ella porque ¿qué
her
más voy a hacer?
computer because what else can I do?
¿Dónde lo escribo?
Where do I write it again?
Y dile que el computer le pertenece a mi hijo.
And the computer belongs to my son.
Sounds good.
Está bien.
What about,
Muchas
is that
gracias.
both the
Thank you
F1
so much.
Y dile que tengo... le
I'm
di
sorry,
una
I
copia-
missed, perdón, no oí lo que dijo porque estaba diciendo thank you. Thank you.
I was just checking to make sure both required forms are now complete.
Quería asegurarme de que ambas formas están ya completas.
Dile que tengo, que como soy escritora y escribo en el periódico, no quiero que se malentienda que mis expresiones en el periódico sean confundidas como
I want it to be clear because I am a writer and I write articles for the newspaper, and I want it to be clear that there's no confusion que lo
que sea por motivo de campaña. No sé cómo se dice esa
that
palabra.
there's no conflict about the campaign.
Que no, sí, que no es anuncio.
It's that they're not advertisements. That what I write in the paper is not advertising or publicity for my
Porque
campaign.
si algún día me llegan a matar, saben a quién atrapar.
Because if somebody hunts me down and kills me, they'll know who it was, who to go after.
Y diré que este es el primero que
And this
publiqué.
is the first article or paper that I published.
¿Tienes una copia?
Do you have a copy?
Y que me costó $475.
And it cost $475.
Is there anything else from the staff in this matter?
¿Hay algo más del personal que quisiera decir?
No, Madam Chair, we have the reports as of today.
Tenemos ya los informes y los reportes que
Diré que
necesitamos.
si es posible que tal vez el de Vanessa allá nos ayude en persona.
Is it
a cumplir con
possible
esta ley.
the Department of Elections can help us out there so that we can comply with the law?
Douglas County?
En el condado de
No,
Douglas.
Grant County.
No, Grant. La
Diré que son
oficina-
grandes amigas mías y nunca ni siquiera me han dado ni la menor indicación de todo esto.
They are friends of mine, and no one there ever told me about this.
So we can certainly call the Grant County
Podemos
elections
llamar al
officials
condado de Grant, a los
remind them and ask them to help
oficiales y
let
pedirles
people know.
que
Gracias.
le digan a la gente, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you for making the trip here.
Gracias por hacer viaje hasta acá.
Please
Y
understand
por
that
favor
state law
entienda que la
requires
ley
these
estatal
forms.
exige estos
Lo
formularios.
entiendo,
I
pero mi ignorancia
understand,
es
but my
tremenda.
ignorance, my lack of knowledge about that was great.
Yes, so I'm not imposing any fine.
No
for
voy a
the
imponer ninguna
lateness
multa
because you've now
porque
completed them.
usted ya los ha
Took the time to
rellenado y
come
tomó
today
el
and
tiempo
explain.
de venir a Olimpia y explicar.
So
Entonces,
the matter will be closed,
vamos a cerrar el caso,
but if you run again,
pero si usted se postula,
you need to make sure to do
por
this,
favor,
okay?
asegúrese
Diré
que
que si me
hacerlo.
eligen no va a haber necesidad.
Si me eligen.
Si me eligen.
Oh, if I'm elected, there will be no need.
That's the spirit.
Muy bien.
So, if you are elected, there's another form you're required to fill out every year.
Se elige, hay un formulario que va a necesitar completar cada año, ¿ah?
Okay?
¿ok?
And the staff will be available
Y
to
el
answer any
personal
questions.
está disponible
Diré
para
que me
hacer
digan que va a
cualquier
venir en
pregunta.
persona.
Let me know, I'll come in person.
And we now have an email address.
Tenemos ahora
Pero diré que
dirección.
prefiero el post office box.
I prefer the P.O. box.
And you have the P.O. box?
Y tenemos
Yeah,
el P.O.
as
box.
for the record, we have the P.O. Box. The other address kept coming back undelivered. And we had
Tenemos el P.O. box porque la otra
Que
dirección
ya
no
no llevan
resulta.
correo al
Yes, that no mail goes to my house now. Okay,
The P.O. box. Thank you
vamos a
very much.
dirigirnos al P.O. box. Muchas gracias.
And thank you. We appreciate your assistance. We
Thank
could not
you.
have done it without you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Gracias.
Thank you.
That will conclude this matter. Let me ask the staff, given the hour, can we now group? Can we, so that completes the filers who were going to participate in the hearing other than the individual who didn't respond, Ms. Smith. Is that right?
That is correct, but we do have an update for Joyce Stanford. She did, we just got her SOU and her payment information, so we,
Statement of understanding. Thank you very much.
thank you.
All right, so, other than Ms. Smith, the others are, there's not a written record and they're not participating in the hearings.
That is correct, Madam Chair.
All right, so can you do these in groups then?
Yes.
So we have the C1, F1, folks who have both C1 and F1 at issue.
That is.
Yes, Madam Chair, we have one one candidate who did not file the C1 F1 in time for the hearing. His name is Mark Gouchard. And it's PDC case number 39050. Mark is a candidate seeking the Lewis County Charter Review Commissioner position. He has let's see, no prior violations. We received a Mark C1 on August 16th, and we received the F1 on August 22nd, but they were late. Let's see, no prior violations, and our recommendation is a penalty in the amount of is that $500?
Correct.
Penalty in the amount of $500, Madam Chair.
I'm sorry. Both the C1 and the F1 have now been filed?
Yes, but they were filed after the hearing notice.
$300,
Yeah.
$150 per report.
Right.
Oh, my apologies.
So the penalty schedule will be $150 per report, given no prior.
Given no prior. Yes.
This individual didn't enter a statement of understanding, but just filed the reports?
That's correct.
The statement of understandings are sent out ahead of what we, correct me if I'm misspeaking, but we expect them back before the hearing takes place, in which case people are given credit, so to speak, for that.
Correct. And our current policy is offer a statement of understanding at $100 per report, regardless of prior violations. And I'm currently working through a large stack of SOUs that were just handed to me, so they continue to come in.
All right. So, no priors, both reports are now in. So this is PDC case 39050. And the record does support a violation of RCW 4217A205 and of 700 for failure to file the C1 and F1 in timely fashion. So I'll, in accordance with our penalty schedule, assess a penalty in the amount of $150 for each. And that payment will be due in 30 days. And we'll issue an order in that matter within 10 days. All right, then we've got a number of folks who still have failed to file both the C1 and the F1.
That is correct, Madam Chair.
And are you looking through the statements of understanding now to see if they're in here? So,
The closest one is 41 on the list, so we have a little bit of time. If I discover someone that we have already addressed, I can let you know.
so at this point in time, you don't statements of understanding for about 9 or so cases, 8 that are in the C1, F1, both not filed.
That is correct.
Okay.
Madam Chair, would you like us to take a brief recess and go through?
Just that. Why don't you take a few minutes, you all look at the statements of understanding that have come in and make sure we're in sync. And then we'll move through these in groups to expedite this process a bit. Okay?
And during that break, we could reach out to Ms. Smith as well and
That'd be terrific.
see if we might be able to
So
line that.
we'll be off the record for about 10 minutes. It's 20 to 12. We'll be off until 10 minutes before 12. All right, great. We are back on the record and for our brief enforcement hearings. And we now have a group who have failed to file both their C1 and F1 reports.
That's correct, Madam Chair.
All right, so for the record, these are Matthew Bishop PDC case 39041, Lisa Devereaux, PDC case 39042, Corey Elliott, PDC case 3049, Jeffrey Patton, 39046, Norbert Schlecht, 39060, Tamara Stimulunch, 39043, Mikhail Smith, 39053, and Jennifer Tyler, 39188. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Right. And you want to give a summary of these?
Staff is alleging that these respondents violated RCW 42.17A.205 and .700 for failing to file or timely file the Personal Financial Affairs Statement, PDC Form F1, and the Candidate Registration, PDC Form C1. The C1 and F1 reports were both due to be filed with the PDC within 2 weeks of the candidates declaring their candidacy with the appropriate elections office. As candidate filing week was May 14th through 18th this year, both reports were due no later than June 1st, 2018. As you indicated, all of the aforementioned respondents have failed to file their reports as of today's hearing date, and they have no prior violations. Staff is recommending a violation amount of $500, $250 per report. There was one gentleman on the list, Mikhail Smith, who contacted our office, and I had a small message from him. He planned to file a statement of termination of candidacy, but we have not to date received the form, and I tried to get a hold of him by email. I haven't been able to get a hold of him to get that form, so I'm not sure of his status as of today as a candidate.
All right. And these all have the same history or lack thereof?
That is correct.
All right. So in the matter of these aforementioned cases, I will find that the record does support a violation of both RCW 4217A205 and RCW 4217A700 for failure to timely file the required C1 and F1 reports. Having found those violations, I'll assess a penalty per the penalty schedule in the amount of $250 per report. And ask that the staff have orders issued within 10 days requiring penalties to be paid within 30 days. We should also make clear when you're doing that they still have to get in the requisite reports.
Of course, Madam Chair.
All right. Then there's a C1 filer who has one prior violation.
That is correct. It's Nicholas Henderson, PDC case number 38927. Nicholas is the candidate for the Kittitas County Coroner's Office and has one prior violation. Staff is recommending a fine in the amount of $500 for the missing reports.
Because of the prior violation?
Correct.
And do you know whether that report did, the one that was the prior violation, was that ultimately, was the fine paid and the report reduced?
I'm not sure, Madam Chair.
So we'll want to check on that, because that would be a different penalty if
They would not according to our brief penalty schedule.
if they're still not in compliance?
Correct. They may be automatically scheduled for a full commission hearing if they did not file the required report that was at issue for their previous violation, or if they had a previous violation for the same thing in the previous reporting period. And that's the only level of nuance that has.
Okay, so I'll hold on that for one of you to look that up and see if we need to refer this one to the full commission.
Okay.
And Madam Chair, I will just state for the record that I guess just to reiterate that these are brief hearings, and so we endeavored to put people into categories and group them the best we can to keep things efficient. And I did tell staff that they had my approval and that I would take responsibility for if we dial it back a little bit, the deep dive that we do in the factual background, to keep with the spirit of that.
Fair enough. So on this one, we'll just confirm what the prior violation was and what happened with it, and if we're, based on that, if we are required to refer to the full commission, we'll do that.
Would you like us to hold that over and then check in the break, or?
Sure, we can do this, absolutely. Okay, so then we have a group of folks who, F1 filers with no prior violations and still haven't gotten their F1s in. Is that right?
That is correct. There are 6 people on the agenda, but you can cross off Nathan Choi. We have received his statement of understanding and fine today. We do still need his F1.
That was filed today as well.
Oh, was it? Oh, my apology.
With a statement of understanding. No problem.
So we have Cindy Bright, PDC case 38992, Marty Campbell, 39001, Courtney Lyle, 38979, Cheryl Miller, 38998, and Kun Wang, 38976. And if I understand this record correctly, they all have no prior violations, and they each have a failure to file their F1.
That is correct.
And what's the staff recommendation for these?
The staff recommendation is a $250 penalty.
So $250 per report, basically.
Those individuals only had one report.
Yeah, yes. Okay. So in the matter of the aforementioned cases, I do find the record supports a violation of RCW 4217A700 by each of these respondents for failing to timely file the required F1 report, certifying financial information for the 12 calendar months prior. In accordance with our penalty schedule, I'll assess a penalty in the amount of $250 to be paid within 30 days, the order being issued, and the orders for each will be issued within 10 days. And the reports are still required to be filed.
Tabitha, do we have any update on Ms. Smith?
Yes, I tried calling Ms. Smith again, and I still get the answering machine.
So, I guess we'll put that on for this afternoon. Yeah. Okay, so we've got a batch of folks, so elected appointed officials, also with no prior violations, who failed to file the F1.
Madam Chair, we were going to break for lunch at noon and start again at 12:30. Do you want to keep to that schedule?
I'd like to just do these couple of batches here that are all, just so you guys can focus in on what's left.
Thank you.
So, none of these, Fox, do we have statements of understanding?
Let me look through the list really quickly. Euler Gregory had one, but in the first batch, that is the only one.
All right. So these are Jesse Baines, PDC case 38901, Dale Boone, PDC case 38911, Gary Bowles, 38743, Jennifer Collins, 38916, Stephen Lawrence, 38788, Aaron McCardle, 38800, and Jeffrey McClure, 38915.
If you can give me just one moment, I think Aaron McCardle may have been in this. Aaron McCardle turned in a statement of understanding and a $100 penalty on the 21st of September.
All right, so we'll remove 38800 from this group. So with regard to the 6 that are remaining, these have no prior violations, have not filed their F1s, and have not responded.
These are actually no prior violations who have filed their F1 but have not responded. Each of them has filed an F1 report prior to the hearing.
All right, so what is the reference to no response then?
That they didn't submit a written response, they aren't appearing telephonically.
Oh, I see. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So you've now...
They just sent in a form.
So a response of a type, I guess, is maybe the disconnect, but not citing extenuating circumstances
Correct.
or anything.
And we can pull that out next year. That is confusing.
Or we could say no response other than the form.
Well,
has been-
so they filed their F1s,
Mhm.
but sorry, the 2 that you just pointed out also did statements of understanding and
Correct.
paid a $100 fine.
Yes. But they filed their F1 reports, it looks like back in August, but did not file the statement of understanding or $100 penalty. So we reached out, explained in all of those cases that we could find that because they failed to file before hearing notices were issued, that they were still required to either fill out and return a signed statement of understanding and a check or money order of $100, or they will come to hearing and will have an opportunity to complete their case.
Okay. And you didn't get bounce backs on any of these, so as far as we know, everybody's had appropriate notice.
Correct. There was only one filer in the entire batch that we did not appear to be able to serve.
All right, and what's the staff recommendation for these cases?
Staff is recommending that we assess a $150 penalty in accordance with WAC 390-37-143 for a first-time violation where the F1 report was filed before the date of the hearing.
All right, I'll accept that recommendation. So in these cases, I'll find that the record does support a violation of 4217A700 by failure to timely file these F1 reports. And I'll accept the staff recommendation of assessing a penalty in the amount of $150 for each in accordance with our penalty schedule. Those are due within 30 days. The reports are still required to be filed, and orders will be issued within 10 days.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
And the next batch is elected and appointed officials with no prior violations who have failed to file their F1s.
Yes, and there were a number of statements of understanding that came in this batch, as well as F1s. So those are Juan Aguilar, we talked to earlier this morning. Joseph Akers turned in a statement of understanding. Gerald Crossler turned in a statement of understanding. Patricia Zico turned in a statement of understanding. Guadalupe Gamboa, statement of understanding. Oops. And I think Holloway. No, and that is it on. Oh, and Terry Jeffries is on this page.
Statement of understanding?
Statement of understanding, as well as Thomas Johnson and Charles Kellogg also turned in statements of understanding.
All right, so the remaining matters that fall into this category of no prior violations and still have failed to file their F1 reports are Lydia Essefer Dawson, 38806, Mike Bischoff, 38824, John Bosch, 38939, Ronald Busby, 38860, Iris Carriotts, 38822, Curtis Casey, 39016, Bhaskar Diohar, 3909, Hector Garza, 39026,
38787.
The Garza case, I think.
Hector Garza, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. Hector Garza, 38787. Antonio Gayton, 38853. Gerald George, 38870. Will Gillespie, 38987. Catherine Gotts, 38936. Anthony Hazel, 38776. Lori Hedrick, 38949. Karen Hikes, 38785. Fred Helms, 38926. Raymond Holloway, 38874. Stephen Hallman, 38777. And Christiana Johnson, 38804. And what's the staff recommendation for these respondents?
Staff recommends that that you assess a penalty of $250 in accordance with WAC 390-37143 for first-time violations for filers who failed to file the missing report by the date of the hearing.
So in each of these aforementioned matters, I will find the record does support a violation of RCW 4217A 700 by each of these respondents for failing to timely file the required F1. And having found a violation in each, I'll assess a penalty in the amount of $250, which is in accordance with our penalty schedule. And those penalties are due within 30 days of the order being issued, and the orders will be issued within 10 days. So
The next page is the same situation, it's just a large number.
all right. So this next group also are elected and appointed officials with no prior violations who have still failed to file their financial affairs F1 reports. These are Holly Kemmer, 38817.
Madam Chair, if I may interrupt, are there any SOUs
There are.
on this list?
Mhm.
Okay.
So on this list, Justin Puckett turned in an SOU. Zachary Pullen DeWolf turned in an SOU. Timothy Shriver turned in an SOU. Stephen Thomas turned in an SOU. And Robert Thorpe turned in an SOU. And that is all in this list.
Thank you. So again, so this group is Holly Kemmer, 38817, Jennifer Lautenbach, 38805, Michael Lemaster, 38846, Amy Martin, 38859, Crystal Marks, 38795, Sandra McCourt, 38803, Travis McGregor, 38748, Michael Moore, 38840.
Madam Chair, may I actually pull Michael Moore out into the next category? My apologies.
All right, so we'll remove 38840 from this batch. Next is Sarah Morris, 38931. Edward Murray, 38786. Dorothy Parsley, 38827. Paul Pastor, 38783. Ayomanu Padu, 38970. Jenemy Perez de Lenguas, 38990. Joshua Quantrell, 38893. Tracy Russell, 38985. Michael Sifkas, 38835. Zachary Smith, 38750. Julie Smith, 38904. Ashley Stubbs, 39031. Robin Westfall, 38988. Stephen Whalen, 38858. Diane White, 38843. Daniel Williams, 38886. And Judith Williams, 38845. Again, those are all elected or appointed officials with no prior violations who have to date not filed the required F1s. And
I would just note for the record, I think that's the same case number and the same Julie Smith that we thought was going to participate by telephone. We have not been able to reach yet.
Very
So
good.
you might want to table that.
Thank you for noticing that. So that's
38904.
38904, so you're still endeavoring to reach her, so we'll hold on that one. and we've moved Michael Moore 38840 into the next batch. And the other 5 for which we now have statements of understanding, we've removed from this batch. So the staff recommendation for these is $250,
That is correct.
consistent with our penalty schedule. So in the matter of these PDC cases, I will find the record does support a violation of RCW 4217A 700 by each of the respondents for failing to timely file the required F1 report. I've found a violation. I'm assessing a penalty in the amount of $250 for each in accordance with WAC 390.37.143, our penalty schedule. Those penalties are due within 30 days of the orders being issued, and the orders will be issued within 10 days. And those reports are still due. All right, so then the next group are elected appointed officials with no prior violations who filed F1 reports and a statement of understanding but failed to include a payment. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And Michael Moore falls into this category?
That is correct.
38840. And Tara Lee Cox, 38780. Anyone else fall into this?
I mean, you can go.
Madam Chair, Tara Lee Cox called and reported that some family medical issues are preventing her from paying the fine. And we spoke to her by phone, and we did ask for something in writing for the hearing, but we haven't received it yet.
And Tara Lee Cox has one prior violation. However, we also received a signed statement of understanding and an F1 report along with no payment. And so I'm not sure whether you would like us to incorporate that prior violation or whether you would like to do 150 with perhaps 100 or 50 suspended, so it would be $100 left as though she had filed an SOU.
So why don't we do this? Why don't you go ahead and try to see if the recommendation is going to be to administratively resolve this? And then I can hear it on Thursday if you like.
Okay.
So that's 38780.
And then Michael Moore also turned in a statement of understanding. Trying to get back to him. I don't believe he has any priors.
He failed to include his $100.
That is correct. We received an F1 report on September 19th, as well as a signed statement of understanding, but no payment for $100. And as such, staff's recommendation is $150 consistent with our schedule for a first-time violation that filed a report prior to the hearing. However, we recommend that $50 of that be suspended so that the remaining penalty would be the $100 that was due with the statement of understanding.
And we haven't had communication with him to know whether that was an oversight or...
We have not.
Since we're doing this other one on potentially, why don't we just do both of these on
Absolutely.
Thursday? That'd give you a little more time to see what's up with that. So in terms of the ones still pending, so we've got Michael Beverly Cox now still pending. We've got Ms. Smith that you're going to try to reach at the break. We've got the ones for full commission. I don't...
And then the remaining each have, where are they down at the bottom? Yes. It looks like there are a couple in this list that should have been referred to the full commission. And so I will need to, actually it's just the Brunner Dam.
So
That one is not, no.
So you guys, since we're 12:15,
Mhm.
the ones that I see that are left to confirm and then determine the appropriate remedy are on page 7. Is that right?
Correct. Mhm.
Those 2 batches there, 1 violation and two violations. And then we have many that are resolved, that have been resolved.
Yes.
We can summarize those. So why don't we go ahead and take our break, our very relaxed lunch break, and then come back and finish these two buckets and see if we're able to reach the other individual, and anything else that we left pending to wrap, we can do that. So how about if we come back at 1:45? Does that work?
Absolutely. Thank you, Madam.
All right, so we'll be off the record for half an hour. We are back on the record. It's 1:15, and we're going to continue with our brief adjudicative hearings, September 24th, 2018. And we have a few more matters regarding failures to file the required C1 or F1 reports. Let's see, one, we had a carryover. You were trying to reach Ms. Smith, who had asked to participate this morning.
Yes, Madam Chair. I left a message for Julie Smith, and I wasn't able to get through again, but I did leave her a message telling her I'd touch base with her this afternoon and sort of figure out where to go from here. And then Nicholas Henderson, I did find out that he paid his $150 fine in 2014, because you were wondering.
Yes.
He was line item 27 on the list, if that helps you.
So that was failed to file a C1, had one prior violation, and he paid that fine. So that was PDC case 38927.
Sorry. It's taking me a minute.
No, that's okay.
No, we were checking for payment, so no, there was no order.
Good? So that was Nicholas Henderson, 38927, C1, one prior violation, failed to file the C1 report. Is that right?
That's correct.
And we were looking back to see whether we need to refer that to the full commission or whether we can handle it today. And based on our WAC, we can handle that today. So the staff recommendation on that one was for our penalty schedule.
I have $500 because of the prior violation.
That's right. So
And we still need the form.
we still need the form. All right. So in the matter of PDC case 38927, find that the record does support a violation of RCW 4217A205 by this respondent for failing to timely file the required C1 candidate registration. Having found that violation, I'm assessing a penalty in accordance with our penalty schedule of $500 because this is the second violation. And that is due within 30 days, and the report is still due. And the order will be issued in 10 days, 10 business days. Okay. All right, and we had two others, is that right, we were carrying over? So Smith, you're going to talk to this afternoon, and if we need to continue that matter until Thursday, we can, for her. Today's hearing. And then, under no prior violations, those who filed the F1 and a statement of understanding but didn't include a payment.
Fairleigh Cox.
Fairleigh Cox, 38780.
Mm-hmm.
What's your recommendation on that one?
So for Tara Lee Cox, you asked us to reach out to her and see if we can get something in writing so that we can close that administratively. So I would like to have a little bit more time to make contact, perhaps continue it, and then if we are able to get that in writing, then just let you know that we close it administratively.
Okay, so we will leave that as a continued case.
Fantastic.
And you won't have to renotice that, so that's 38780. Okay, then we have two batches, elected appointed officials with one prior violation who failed to file the F1 report, and those with two prior violations who failed to file the F1 report, right?
Yes, Madam Chair. And so there are a couple of, there are two cases that it turns out we do need to schedule for the full hearing as well. And that is PDC case 38838 for Dan Brunner. And that is for having a violation of RCW 4217A700 in a previous reporting period, as well as PDC case 38965 for Warren Small. Turns out Warren has two prior violations, including PDC case 22181, which was a violation of RCW 4217A700 in the previous reporting period.
So 38838 and 38965 will go to the full commission in the October meeting?
Yes, Madam Chair.
In addition to the half a dozen we had earlier?
Yes.
All right, and you'll work with Kim and Gina to get those
Absolutely.
teed up on that calendar. All right, and so that leaves us with Robert Bunker, 38924, William Burkett, 38794, John Fox, 38947, Marilyn Freiberg, 38836, Gerald Haynes, 38980, Carmen Mendez, 38867.
William Burkett actually has two prior violations and is put there with one in error.
So that, along with Mr. Small?
Yes. But except this one is William Burkett. That was 2 reporting periods ago, so will not be referred to the full commission.
So I'll take him out of this group and put him below with the two priors.
Yes, thank you.
All right. So Dean Bruner, Robert Bunker, John Fox, Marlon Freiberg, Gerald Haynes, Carmen Mendez.
Yes.
Okay, and for each of those, they have a prior violation, still have not filed their F1, and what's the staff recommendation?
Staff is recommending a penalty of $500 in accordance with WAC 390.37.143 for a second violation when the F1 has not been filed by the date of the hearing.
All right, in these aforementioned cases, I find that the record does support a violation of RCW 4217A700 by each of these respondents for failing to timely file the required report. Having found those violations, I'll assess a penalty in the amount of $500 in accordance with WAC 390.37.143, which is the penalty schedule adopted by the Commission. And those payments are due within 30 days of the order, be issued within 10 days, and those F1s are still due, must be submitted. Okay, so then we have William Burkett, Logan Livingston, Randall Reed, and Robert Rorick in the last. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so those are cases 38794, 38813, 38900, 38756. And these each have two prior violations and have yet to file their F1s.
That is correct.
And are we aware of those? Anything else on the prior violations you want me to be aware of?
For the prior violation for PDC case 38756, Robert Rorick, There's a prior violation for failure to file the F1 in which we assessed a $1,000 penalty. In accordance with our penalty schedule, today's penalty recommendation is also $1,000, but because the last one was also $1,000, I don't know whether, in your discretion, that would warrant a penalty above the authority for a brief adjudicative proceeding.
No, since I'm not issuing a one is a prior roll.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
we're within the parameters there.
Great.
To handle it today, so we'll go ahead and do that. So for each of these, you're recommending,
$1,000 for a third violation when the missing report is not filed by the date of the hearing.
so for each of these aforementioned matters, I will find a violation. And the record does support a violation of RCW 4217A700 by each of these respondents, and because of their prior violations under the Commission's penalty schedule, they'll each be assessed a penalty of $1,000 due within 30 days, and the reports are still due as well. All right, are there any other matters?
Let me just make sure nothing else got held over. Do you have anything?
There was a gentleman in the same category, it's Charlie Cox.
Michael Moore, we did enter an order for. Tara Lee was pulled out. But thank you for reminding. So no, that does look like we are concluded.
All right, so we have, I just want to applaud the staff and make sure it was on the record that we have quite a few cases that have been resolved, either through statement administratively or administratively. Many that you have worked through, so I want to applaud the team for doing that and working with these filers to try to get this information. As you know, our goal is not to penalize people. Our goal is to get this information out to the public in as timely a fashion as possible. So everything you all do in those preliminary steps that results in people getting those filings in is exactly what we're trying to accomplish. So thank you for that. And thank you for the work that went into this hearing. If you have any questions, start issuing the orders following. Don't hesitate to ask when you review your notes or the record, if any, and then when you set them on the calendar for the full commission, make sure to include the penalty schedule with those in the meeting materials, so they'll have that handy.
Absolutely.
And then put your staff recommendation in those.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. All right, anything else? Okay. Then it's 1:30 and we will be adjourned. Thank you, everybody.